The problem solvers are on the move, about to bust another slacker. She's wasting your tax dollars, but that's just the beginning. This time, there are human casualties.
Just want to ask you, are you taking good care of these folks?
Of course we are.
Is that right? So how does she explain this? A van full of helpless people, and take a look in the front seat. Nobody there. She and two co-workers left them to fend for themselves. That's why she's running from the problem solvers.
It was your van.
I was not in that van. I'm in a different van.
It was her, all right. She's guilty as sin. Later, you'll see us catch her in the act, and she's not the only one. The problem solvers caught a whole nest of cold-blooded slackers just like her. It's enough to break your heart. Take a look at the faces of these people. They're as vulnerable as they come, severely handicapped mentally and physically. Some are infants in adult bodies. Most can't even speak. They can't tell you when they're hungry, when they have to go to the bathroom. They depend on others for everything, and that's what's so sad. You're paying these people to be caregivers, but I got a tip that these vulnerable people were being left in vans for hours on end, day after day, without even a bathroom break. I found it hard to believe that anyone called a caregiver could care so little. That's why you're going to be boiling mad when you see what we uncovered. As you're watching this story, think how you'd feel if it was your brother or your sister being treated this way. Right now, let me step back a bit and explain how the van program works. Every morning, people who live in group homes for the developmentally disabled are dropped off at this place called Life Skills. It's a private agency that gets $4 million a year in state funding. Essentially, it's daycare for the disabled. They're supposed to be taken on outings, places like the mall or the movies. They call it the community experience. But we took our undercover cameras on the road to find out what really goes on, and we were shocked. On this day, the clients spend nearly 6 hours sitting in the van. How's that for a community experience? When they land at the mall, we figure maybe something good is going to happen. Nah. One of the workers goes shopping for herself, leaving them strapped in their seats with heavy coats on a warm day. Look at this, the driver kicks back with her window down, smoking cigarettes, while they swelter in the back with only one window cracked. Come on, people treat their dogs better than that. The lady riding shotgun spends almost an hour in the mall buying baby clothes. Then they pick up a Chinese carryout and head to the park. Now, folks, here's the day's community experience. They get 20 minutes to scarf down a bag lunch. Then they're hustled back to the van so these guys can chow their Chinese. On the way back to the center, another personal errand. She stops at a daycare center. Can you believe it? 6 hours in a stuffy van, not one activity, not a single bathroom break. Remember, they can't tell you when they have to go. When they're left sitting for hours like this, they wind up soiling themselves. And the saddest part of all, we saw this same kind of sickening pattern with other workers on numerous days, driving around for hours, running errands. The dollar store, the drugstore, the post office, the bank. They're just warehousing these people in vans and collecting a paycheck. We spent days watching them and never once saw them pay any attention to the people in back. They're supposed to be clients, but they're treated like prisoners. Halfway through our investigation, the story took an unexpected turn. This place, Life Skills, was taken over by another private company called Community Connection. We wondered if this neglect would stop. It didn't. We saw more of the same stuff and most of the same faces. We followed this van delivering Meals on Wheels. The disabled folks are supposed to drop off the meals. You know, a community experience. Well, apparently it takes too much effort to get them in and out of the van, so the workers deliver the meals. And the clients? Well, you get the picture. And remember this lady? Now you'll see why she decided to run. We caught her in a doozy, and get this, she was hired by the new company. Man, did she catch on fast. She and two co-workers drive to Ypsilanti and hang out in this apartment for an hour while a third stays behind. Eventually, she goes in too, leaving them unattended for 15 minutes. How pathetic for them, left all alone, rocking and bobbing. It looks like she's banging her head on the seat. When the driver finally returns, she doesn't even check to see if they're okay. Look at this, she pulls out a brush and starts fussing with her hair. I couldn't wait to put a camera in her face, so I followed her van a second day. But there was a problem. I couldn't decide where to pop her. At the car dealership, the Burger King, eating in the park, at the bank, or the car dealer again? When they hit a bank a second time, I decided it was time to rock and roll. Here's the payoff, folks. I'm going to hit this one right out of the park.
Things like this. We take them to the malls, to the parks. We take them on nature walks. We take them to the Humane Society. We take them all going to places like that.
Which one have you done today?
Today, we haven't done anything outside today, no.
You haven't had them out of the van in 3 hours.
Yes, we do go out of the van.
You never had them out of the van. We've been following you since you left this morning.
Well,
Do you think that's really fair to these people? They can't speak for themselves.
well, there's nothing to do out of doors today.
She tries to blame it on the rainy weather. Come on, we know better than that.
What about last Friday when you went to the apartment in Ypsilanti and sat in there for an hour with these folks in the van?
I have no comment. That was not my van.
Would you want your brother or your sister to be treated like that, left alone?
There's no excuse for her. And how about the company that hired her? Remember, they're getting $4 million tax dollars a year. We decided to drop in on them.
I need to talk to somebody who's in charge of the vans.
I wasn't going anywhere till I got a chance to tell the supervisor the horror stories.
Well, how do you feel about this happening?
It's upsetting, but that's one of the reasons why we took the company over, is we knew stuff like that was happening.
So why didn't they do anything about it till the problem solvers showed up at their door?